Hey everybody, this is PJ Riley from Lancaster Archery. Got a product video for you today. We wanted to tell you about the Axcel Achieve XP Variable Range. The Axcel Achieve XP, that sight has been around for several years now, used by recurve compound archers. Archers are using this to win the biggest tournaments in the world. So this is definitely a sight that has proven itself in competition. So this is the 1.5. So this is going to be a sight that you're going to use with your compound bow. And right here, what I have is the one with the 6-inch bar. There's going to be one with a 9-inch bar as well. But let's start out with what's new with this sight, that variable range. That's the part that we haven't seen in the Axcel Achieve XP before. And that is right here, this bracket on the back. You can see a couple of holes sticking out in the bottom here. Well, actually, if I turn it around, you can see all these mounting points for the screws, and in here as well. So what that's allowing you to do is change the position of your block up and down. This, the sight bar here, this is pretty short. And so what the folks at Axcel discovered is what they want archers to do is primarily compete with the scope block right in the middle of the bar. What they're saying is that that produces the least amount of vibration when your scope is configured this way rather than having it pushed all the way to the top or all the way to the bottom. And you know, in previous versions, this bar is bigger, so you could get that scope block way up or way down, and there's way less vibration if you keep it right here in the middle. Less vibration, of course, that means less chance of things moving, and it just is nicer at the shot. So, you know, you're shooting 50 meters. That's a fixed position shoot. There's no reason to be moving the sight all around. So set it up so that your scope block is right in the middle of the bar. Then it's in the best position for that competition. However, you can use this for, you know, like a redding, 3D, ASAs, or field archery, something where you do have to move the scope up and down. And then this does have 1.5 inches of travel up, 1.5 inches of travel down. So you can use this for variable distance competition. Some of the sight tapes that come with it do go from 20 yards all the way out to 100. So you can shoot, you know, some of the farthest distance tournaments that are out there using this sight. Speaking of the sight tapes, we might as well talk about that. You are going to get a sampling of 14 different metal sight tapes. These are double-sided, 7 tapes, 2 sides, 14 tapes. And it's a selection. It's not, you know, these sight scales go in progression from your fastest bows to your slower bows. What Axcel did is they give you a sampling. It's not 1 through 14. You get different ones in case your bow isn't, you know, within the range that they're offering. There's a possibility that one of these is going to work for you because they give you a sampling from different positions in the total scale. Over here on the paper tapes, however, you are going to get 40 sight scales there. So odds are, for sure, one of these is going to match your bow. Beyond that, this has all the features that we love about the Axcel Achieve XP. Starting with, you know, carbon bar, super rigid carbon bar. This thing is not going to flex. One of the things that Axcel discovered through the years is that you'll notice now the sliding connection point here. There's a bridge that the carbon bar slides through from post to post. So what Axcel discovered is now you're going to see that this completely encapsulates that carbon bar instead of being open and just pinning it in one place, but not having this bridge here. Axcel discovered just by adding these struts there, that kept this bar from flexing. They noticed some flex when there was room to move, but with the aluminum bridges here, now that bar can't move. So that is built in there, and of course you can hear it sliding. It's going to have the divots up top There's a little spring tension pointer in here when you lock it into place. So you can just back it out a little bit, slide it from position to position. You're never going to have to worry about being off one of those divots. Coming down, we have our first adjustment for the second axis. That's going to be these two bolts right here. Of course, you're going to loosen those, and then you're going to make sure that vertical bar, you're going to be able to position it this way, make sure it's perfectly vertical. Then you will have your second axis adjustment for the scope. That's going to be these two screws right here. Again, that's going to pitch your scope this way. And something I want to give Axcel credit for is you can see where those screws are. Now with a standard Allen wrench set, that's not an easy position to get to. Axcel gives you the 90-degree wrench to get in there so that you can work those screws. They give you the wrench, so you don't have to go hunting for one of those. And then of course you are going to have your third axis adjustment screws. That's going to be these two right here. And what that does is moves your scope like the swinging door. So you can level this scope on all the axes. Now let's talk about elevation adjustment. So this is going to be, you are going to mount a scope to this. Incidentally, this does not come with a scope, so you're going to have to add that scope. You can add any size that you want. You'll be able to fit this on pretty much any scope that's on the market out there. But so you're going to adjust that scope up and down as you shoot different distances. This is going to be your adjustment. You're going to have, whether you like to make your elevation adjustments from the top or the bottom, people are different, just personal preference. You'll be able to do that, and they are super precise. Each click locks into place. You know, sometimes with those clicks, you click into place, but then the knob can move, and so you're not sure where exactly your indicator stopped. With these, it's a pretty solid stop that it gets into that position. It's going to stay where you want it. And you do have a lock right here. Once you get it where you want it, pop that up, and then it does not spin anymore. So you can always make sure that that thing is locked into place. Not all sites have that feature. Likewise, for your windage, is going to be right here. Again, super precise clicking. And you're going to have that lock as well. On the front here, it is going to come with this scope rod here that obviously fits the bracket. And then one of the nice things about this is this does have a quick release. So right here, if I loosen this, I can pull off, this would have my scope on it. I can pull my scope block off. If I'm traveling and I don't want to leave it attached, I can take my scope off to secure that in a safe place. And then when it comes time to compete again, I can bring it back, and you'll see there is a divot in the top. As long as I get this seated back into that divot, and you can feel it, you'll know whether you're in it or not. As long as I get it back in there, then I know it returned to exactly the same place I removed it from. So that's a great feature as well. Incidentally, we should have mentioned, on the elevation, we do have a quick adjust. Right here, this little tab there, you know, if you have to move from 100 yards back to 20 yards, you're out there at Reading and you got to make a big jump like that, you have this device, just press that in and then you can slide it to make your rapid travel adjustments. And it's precise there too. When you're moving that up and down, there's no slop in that. You don't feel that scope block wiggling around. It's only moving vertically on that track. Now, for your sight scale indicators, you are going to have two. Of course, you're going to have the red one here. That's probably where you're going to mount your sight scales. This is the blank one that you would use to set up. Then, if you do like to go by the scale chart, there are different programs that you can use that convert this side of the scale into your yardage distances. If you prefer to use this side, you have an indicator here as well. However, if you want to use the sight tapes, if you want to use the scale on this side, you can use either side to get your yardages set. All right, that is the Axcel Achieve XP Variable Range bow sight. Again, this is the 1.5 version. There is a 2-inch version. That's going to be for slower bows. Most of the competition compound bows, you're going to be using the 1.5 here. But if you want to see the different options for this sight, be sure to click the link in the description below. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like it, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to click that bell to get notifications whenever we put out new videos. As always, if you have any questions, you can visit us at lancasterarchery.com.